Hey everybody, I was asked by a viewer the other day about my Sun canister filter, and they brought up something that I've discussed in the past, and I'm going to talk about it again today because apparently the misinformation is still out there floating around. And that is that the Sun canister filters do not have the Underwriter's Laboratory listing. If you look at the label on most electrical products, you'll see that little offset sort of UL in a circle. That is Underwriters Laboratories, and they are a standardization and testing company that tests products to make sure that they are safe for operation, and then if they meet that approval, they put their little sticker on there. And a lot of people believe that your homeowner's insurance will not cover any damage done by a product that doesn't have the UL listing on there. And this is simply not true. That UL listing is for advertising purposes, believe it or not. It does a product a lot of good to be able to slap that little UL sticker on there. And so they pay the Underwriters Laboratories to test their product, and if it passes, they get the privilege of putting that UL sticker on there. And it is good for marketing because it does indicate that it meets the bare minimum safety standards for U.S. products, but the UL listing is not the only standardization organization out there. There's several of them. The UL, or the Underwriters Laboratory, is just the one that we're most commonly familiar with. It's the most popular, but it's for advertising purposes. It's not for your insurance purposes. And to further prove that, I just spent about a half an hour on the phone trying to get a hold of an insurance agent. I asked them about it, and they had no idea what I was talking about. And they asked me to repeat the question, and I had to explain what I was talking about. And eventually I said, look, let me just ask you this. I said, if one of your clients' houses burned down because it had a defective toaster, would you ask them if the toaster was Underwriters Laboratories listed? And he said, what? He said, no, if somebody's house burned down because it had a defective toaster, we'd file the claim. And like the very fact that he didn't know what I was talking about with this whole Underwriters Laboratory listing and all that reassured me that I know what I'm talking about here. They don't ask you if your electrical product was Underwriters listed if you file a claim. If you use a defective, I mean, how many products in your house do you know are Underwriters listed? Are all the extension cords that you're using UL listed? Is every electronic product in your house UL listed? Is everything you've bought from Amazon UL listed? None of that's going to have any impact on your homeowner's insurance. Like I said, I spoke with an agent this morning. He said that that's not what they do. That's not what that UL listing is for. However, I will say that if you are thinking about homeowners insurance and aquarium filters, any leaking aquarium, a leaking aquarium filter, that's going to fall under flood damage. And flooding and water damage is usually very specific, and I even talked to the agent about this and he agreed with me that those are very specific type claims, and most homeowners insurance will not cover even things like broken pipes in your basement don't get covered in a lot of policies. So if you're concerned about your insurance not covering a leaking filter or something to that effect, then you need to really double check your policy before you go setting up filters and so on and so forth. But if you're worried about that Underwriters Laboratory listing that has absolutely nothing to do with your insurance, they're never going to ask you if the product that caused the fire or whatever was Underwriters Laboratory listed. That's just not something they do. It's not something that has anything to do with the insurance company. It is an advertising thing, and that's it. It's a marketing strategy, and that's it. Now again, you can be assured when you purchase something that's got that UL listing on it that it does meet the bare safety standards for U.S. products. That's not a requirement, though. You're allowed to sell products in the United States that don't have that listing on there and that don't even meet those standards. It's just sort of a bare minimum standard where you can say, okay, this product's reasonably safe. It doesn't mean it has to have that on there. You can go buy products right here in the United States that aren't UL listed. To get UL listed, you literally have to go pay them money to test your product. If you don't want to go through that step, you don't have to. The UL listing is a marketing thing. It's not anything to do with your homeowner's insurance. So I hope that cleared that up once and for good. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you real soon in the next one.